What's going on, everyone? It is Tuesday, live here on YouTube. Welcome to another episode of the C-List Villains podcast, your cultivators of the comic culture. I am the co-host, Eman, along with my co-host, Luke, from the great state of Oregon. What it do?
Dude, I'm looking at this gorgeous Stan Sakai Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Last Ronin cover he's putting out.
I absolutely love your love for Stan Sakai, man. You can't get enough of that guy. Your love for Stan Sakai is legendary.
You gotta have one thing that you really enjoy.
See, and you're a comic book guy. Like you enjoy comic books, but there's that one creator that you're just absolutely after.
Absolutely.
Everyone's got their fan favorite.
It's a culmination of his style, his energy. It all hits me in the feels.
Well, what is it about Stan Sakai? The only thing that I think anybody really knows him from is from the rabbit.
Usagi Ojima.
The rabbit, the samurai rabbit.
Miyamoto. Yeah, no, him and Kevin Eastman came up together. They both did their anthropomorphic animals, and Kevin kind of went bigger, but
I never see. That's the thing. I never really read it either. Too. I don't know anything about Usagi Yojimbo, and it's like you're big on it, so it's kind of like and I'm easily influenced, right? Like AJ can tell me, "Oh, I'm reading this new comic. You should read it." Okay, I'll go pick it up because I'm like that. That's just I don't know if that's ADHD. I don't know if it's just my personality. But if you say, "Hey, E-Man, I need you to read this," I will go read it because you, as my friend, said I needed to read it.
It's not complicated. You know what I mean? It's feudal Japan, samurais fighting, and they're all rabbits and animals, rhinoceros, cats, and
that's the thing. I mean, it's like you said, it's amphibianamorphic.
Exactly.
I don't know why I can never say that word. Anthropomorphic, McCormick.
Anthropomorphic.
Man, Luke, it's been a minute, man. I miss doing this. I really do. I miss you. I miss AJ. I miss Red. You guys have been holding it down while I've been gone, man. I love it.
Yeah, we missed you too, man. It really feels like life is it's going like 100 miles an hour, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a week whips by and you're like, I have no idea what happened.
And with me, I'm not gonna go out and advocate for people who have ADHD, but I can only speak for myself, and I can tell you that, I totally hit that creative paralysis where I was just like, I was afraid to be behind the mic and hang out with you guys. I was afraid to do this, and there was just something I was just like, I don't know why, I just can't, and I missed you guys, and I was like, man, I just need to go out there with my boys and just do it again. I just need to go out there and just do it, and that's kind of how I did it before. I was just, let me just go out there. Let me just be stupid. Let me get behind a mic and say stupid fart and dick jokes and just have a good time with them. And then it got to a point where I was like, man, I need to create something good, and it's got to be, it's got to be great, and it's got to be grand, and it's people pleasing, and that's what messes people like me up. It's just like people pleasing, and I know we shouldn't be doing that, and I do. And this is another thing, like ramble, some ADHD. I'll stop. Luke, you continue to talk now.
I totally feel it, man. I got this thing with. Have you seen Madame Web?
I have not seen Madame Web. I was on the show.
Madame Web.
I was on the show on Sunday listening to Red and Mike talk about it. Are we gonna shoot our load right here? Did you watch it?
Not yet, but I'm kind of want to let it simmer a little bit because I've got a feeling it might be a classic.
That's what I'm reading. That's what. Okay, so the title of the show is it a cult classic? But what? Like a cult classic is one of those movies where it doesn't do well in the movie theater, but people who've seen it love it. It's like a cult classic is one of those movies where it's like, why are more people not seeing this? What, like, this is such a good movie. I haven't heard anyone say that about Madame Web. That this is a fantastic movie. I don't understand why people aren't going out there to watch it. Is you should go out there and watch it. I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that yet through the grapevine. I'm a
Not yet.
son.
Have you
That's
seen
from my
Troll
culture.
2?
No. Wait. Troll 2. Are we talking about like the old 80s scary movie, or are we talking about like cute
Yeah,
trolls? Oh,
Troll from 1986, and then there was Troll 2 from 1990, and Patton Oswalt has this whole bit on it. It's pretty hilarious.
no, I
Troll
haven't.
2.
I want to hold on. Let me say that again. I think I may have seen Troll 1, Troll movie 1986. Let me see. Let me take a look at what this character looks like. Noah Hathaway's in it. He's Harry Potter Jr. That's the name of his character in the movie, Harry Potter Jr. And you know who Noah Hathaway is, right? He played Atreyu from A Never Ending
Oh,
Story.
okay. Never Ending
Let me
Story.
see.
Now, Never Ending Story 2, that movie was the worst of all time and not a cult classic.
I have not even seen. There was a part 2.
Yeah, and mysteriously, the dragon, they used a different voice actor, and it's so jarringly different that it really breaks the wall. Like, they didn't even try, and like whoever did the first one, brilliant, awesome, the white dragon. Second one, it's like, dear God, what happened?
I didn't even see it. Like I didn't even know that there was a part 2. And honestly, I'm probably not gonna watch it because it sounds like it could ruin like the good feels from part 1.
It does ruin the first one.
You know what I did watch though? We're gonna talk about it when the whole group is here. But you know what I did watch? I saw
have
that.
a feeling.
I saw that you got a certain DVD from a certain friend from the show.
Jim
Cotta. We watched it yesterday or on Monday since we had that extra day off. Mimi, Erica, and I, we sat down and we watched it, and we have opinions. We need to talk about this group because of opinions.
That is classic.
For people who don't know, Jim Cotta is a movie about a gymnast turned U.S. secret agent who knows how to do some kind of gymnastics, kung fu, and he's got to go through these games to to win a certain satellite that the U.S. needs, and it's just this crazy grandiose story. But like certain plot points were only touched upon during the movie, like here and there. Like it's one of those movies in the 80s that is just terrible, but you can't not look at it.
I haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to. I mean, essentially, Taekwondo is Jim Cotta, right? It's Taekwondo.
and we were like, oh man, that came from Bloodsport. Oh, that came from a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. It's a trip, but this movie came out before any of the Jean-Claude stuff came out.
Yeah, it might have influenced it for sure.
And yeah, we think it did. There was some influences that are like, oh, that's Kumite stuff. Oh, that's I seen this right here. Like we've seen this before. But then like we looked at the date. I think Jim Cotta came out like in 85. And Bloodsport and Kickboxer came out in 88 and 89. We're like, oh, this came out first. So it just blew our minds.
I mean, it's sitting at 82% positive on Google. That's not bad.
Because
it's
terrible. Yeah, now that's a cult classic, right? When it doesn't do good in the movie theaters, the critic scores are really low, but the audience score is really high. And I think this is why Red wanted us to watch it. So Jim Cotta is something definitely for the masses.
All right, I will watch it.
Yeah, you have to. Because we have opinions. Mimi and I have opinions, and I even invited her on the show. I was like, you need to come on and talk about it with us. So, and that's what ADHD does to people. You were talking about Madame Web, and we eventually got into Jim Cotta. And I apologize, Madame Web, but you didn't watch it. I didn't watch it, so I really don't have any opinions on it other than I hear it's bad. But I have free movie tickets, so I'm like, I kind of want to go watch it now.
Oh wow. You know what? I do too.
Yeah.
Holy crap. I've had these I had to leave a theater early one time and they gave me tickets
Mhm.
to see any movie like in the future. But you can't use them on new release movies. And I'm like, what's the point of
What?
this?
Well, I mean, like, new release is probably opening weekend, right? I mean, if you wait like a week or two, you probably can go back in and watch it. Give it some time,
Exactly.
you know? But yeah, for me, the way I got my movie tickets, I took Eris and her friend. We went to go watch, or we were gonna go watch like a Studio Ghibli movie. I think there was like a re-release of like Spirited Away or Howl's Moving Castle or something like that. And the projector broke down, right? Broke
Oh,
down. We waited for like over an hour. They come back out they're like, oh, you know what, you guys, like the system broke. We're sorry, we can't stream it. We can't do anything. So they refunded us our money and gave us free tickets to go back. So we're like, okay, that's cool, you know. And the movie theater is not like the best in the world, but it's also not bad. So I'm like, you know what? We should probably use these, and I'm probably going to use those tickets to go watch Madam Web in a couple of weeks. Probably not this weekend.
okay. I like it.
You know, because okay, so this is the thing right here. This is what I've been thinking about lately. Because Mark from the Legion of Comics actually brought this up too. You know, it's like my question was, what's going on with Sony? They haven't released anything good lately. And he threw back at, well, what about Spider-Man? Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 2, the Spider-Verse movies. Like he started throwing out all the movies, and I'm like thinking, you know, in hindsight, like, well, wait a minute, they're kind of old. Like, what about Venom? Venom 2, Morbius, Madam Web. It's kind of like the studio is the animated studio is doing good, but the live stuff has been kind of like trashy. So it's like Sony had a good start. Amazing Spider-Man 2 as a movie wasn't good. It might have been a success at the box office, but the movie wasn't good. I didn't like it. Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man is great, but that movie I didn't like.
Peter Parker, he struggles.
Uh, Yeah, I felt like he did. I felt like he was too cool to be a Peter Parker. You
Way too
know,
cool and
what's going on,
tall and
Lawrence?
like looks like a model type guy.
Yeah, yeah, he looked too cool. Like Toby did a good Peter Parker,
He
but
looks
Andrew did a
nerdy.
better. Yeah, but Andrew did
Nerdy
a
kid.
better Spider-Man. Right? What's going on, Lawrence? Hanging out on Facebook. Appreciate it, brother. Thanks for coming by. So it's kind of like, you know, like I'm wondering, like, what is Sony doing? Like the last few movies, other than the Spider-Verse movies, haven't been good. You know, a lot of
There's
people don't like the
no
Tom Holland Spider-Man movies either, and it just seems almost like there's a major disconnect. Like they don't know what they're
there's
doing.
a disconnect. There's some it's a but it must just be some like corporate bubble these corporate heads are making, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where
See,
it's like they don't have any influence from fans and readership and they get something like in their mind and they hold on to it and they're like, this is what we're doing.
see,
And they
think
won't let it go.
think about the Spider-Verse movies, right? The animated movies. I personally love the animation. I love the animation in those movies. I heard that it was super strenuous. I've heard animators have had to leave because Sony's been putting on like this crazy schedule and that people left. But the product itself looks good. Story wise, if you really think about story wise, also not bad. Very comic booky. It works in that context. Why is it hard for Sony to translate that same good feel to a live movie? Because the Venoms, the first one I didn't hate, the second one I hated. I heard Morbius was not bad or wasn't good, and consensus tells me that Madam Web is trash. You know, is it that Sony is holding on to the Spider-Man name for the sake of holding on to the name and all of its properties and everything? Because Sony, I guess, has the rights to the whole Spider-Verse, all of Spider-Man's catalog. Is that correct?
You know, I have no idea the intricacies of the deal.
And I think they're just releasing things just to release them to hold on to that. Eventually, shit's gonna fizzle out, like what happened with Fox. They were just releasing stuff just to release stuff, and then eventually they got bought out. Do you think that Sony's doing so bad with such a good property that their hopes, at least the higher ups, is that Disney would say, "We're buying you too"? And if they do, I think that's going to be bad. Thoughts?
Yeah, Disney's dropped the ball recently. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they have. They've dropped it's like Endgame and that's it.
That
Loki
it was the end game.
Loki was great. I liked WandaVision. Like the first things coming out of Phase 4 were okay. I honestly didn't have a problem with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but it just seems like they were just releasing stuff and it just right. But
Yeah.
Hawkeye wasn't bad. I enjoyed Hawkeye.
Yeah, Hawkeye wasn't
You
bad.
know, I thought it was pretty cool, but what's going on? What is happening? They had the magic and now they don't. Is it the writers? Is it the decision making? You know, are we used to, an overarching story that goes above all these, one offs? I like the idea of a season, giving us 6 to 8 hours, even 10 hours worth of story as opposed to a 2.5 hour movie. I like that idea, but I just don't think that they're utilizing that well. Ms. Marvel, absolutely adorable. I really loved her show. That was aimed at kids. Adults hated it. I get it. But what is going on? They made their money and they're like, all right, let's cut corners here. I think what they need to start doing is start paying the actors less or get brand new actors in that they can pay less and start paying the writers a lot more. I
And
think
just
that's what needs to happen.
bringing in the comic book creators who don't have anything to do with the movies. They're like, a movie's being made? What?
Exactly. You know, what would Robbie Rodriguez do differently if he got a chance to share Gwen's story all over again? How would you put that down on paper and translate that to a movie? Give it to the creator who created that character, right? Who's one of the more famous Spider-Man writers that's alive? That's alive. I know it's Stan Lee, but that's alive right now.
Mm-hmm. Like a Dan Slott, or I don't know how much these guys are involved
Unlimited,
in it, but
you know,
I'm
it,
sure have you seen the cut of all the different creators of the TV shows and movies for Phase 4?
no, what happened?
It's pretty funny. I wonder if we could pull it up, but it's each one of them saying, "Oh yeah, we didn't read any of the comics. Oh yeah, we didn't care about the comic. We didn't care about the comics at all. We just
You know
wanted to
what?
write our story."
And there's the disconnect right there. There's the disconnect right there. If you didn't read them, then what are you using as reference? What are you using to connect with the audience? What are you using as that one story point? That's probably why a lot of the comic book readers who actually watch the movies are looking for that one thing that says, hey, you're talking to me by putting in this Easter egg. Thank you. But if the writers don't know anything about the source material, get different writers, or at least get writers to say, hey, I've done my research. This is what I got out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And
you know what makes me even the most upset is because then all the trolls come out and they're like, "Oh, it failed because it's woke, or it failed because of this or that." Like, no, it failed just because it was bad writing.
yeah,
It was a bad script. Like, it didn't matter who the main character was. Who cares? It could have been awesome.
I have a love-hate relationship with that term woke. I really do. Some of it, okay, I get it. Inclusion, okay. But I also want you to do it in such a way where it doesn't feel forced. All right. I just don't want it to feel forced. Just give me a good writer. They're gay, fine, that's great. I don't care what's going on. Give me a good writer that knows how to tell a story. Give me a good director that knows how to tell a story. I don't care that you're coming out and say, by the way, Morph is non-binary. Fucking cares. Is the cartoon good? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
is it a good story?
Like the term non-binary wasn't even used in 97. So why are you even bringing it up?
Well, no, but the thing is, like, non-binary people like that. They're interesting people. Like, they've got stories, cool stories to tell. Like, just write it in a way that makes it interesting.
I would rather just like I would rather see the sparks happen during the show rather than you telling me ahead of time, hey, by the way, this person's gay and they're gonna like so and so.
Yes,
I want to
yes.
see the sparks
Sparks
happen
happen.
prior to, right? I want to see in episode 3 a certain look. And then by episode 5, touching of the pinkies, right? And then getting into episode 9, like, okay, they got together. Yay. That's
Yeah,
how it
let it
was with
happen
Ross and
naturally.
Rachel with Friends, right? It took a minute before those two got together. It took a minute before anyone even in TV, like even Leonard and Penny from Big Bang Theory, it took them a minute before they got together, right? Build up the romance, but don't have to preface it by, oh, by the way, these are heterosexual characters and they're going to fall in love eventually. Give me a good story.
Yes.
I just and Miss So right here. The problem with the word woke is too many folks don't know the original meaning.
Yeah, that we're awake to the problems of the world. I mean, I think people get confused by it. It's like, no, like, you could be awake that there's a problem. We should fix the problem. Like, it's not complicated. You're being an ass to somebody. Stop being an ass to them.
See,
A group of people are being mistreated. Let's fix it.
look, I'm not upset. And again, ADHD is tangenting this conversation. I'm not upset that Morph is now non-binary. All right,
Who
because
is
X Morph. Because they're
Morph?
saying that
I don't
Morph
know.
is non-binary in the X-Men 97 cartoon that's coming out.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
And you know what? X-Men has always been about inclusion, regardless of who or what you are. Love who you are, love what you are, be connected to that character. I get it. It's great. But telling us ahead of time, oh, by the way, Iceman's going to be gay.
spoils it a
Now
little
read
bit.
this comic. Oh, Morph is going to be non-binary. Now watch the show. No, tell me during the show. Because now it feels like it's a marketing ploy as opposed to a genuine story. Now we got to involve everyone. Involve everyone by just making a good story and then letting it pan out during the story. You're going to prove people wrong. You're going to prove people wrong by giving us a good story and letting us know in the story. Because telling us ahead, I think, cheapens the meaning while it happens during the story. If that makes any sense.
Oh, yeah.
That woke is negative and mostly refers to misinformation about LGBTQ folks, feminism, etc. It's like it sucks because terms do get twisted around, don't they?
They do get twisted. All right, so MCU movies. So far, we have how many? 33.
Movies?
33 MCU movies.
Ooh, speaking about MCU, I still haven't even seen Marvels.
I watched it. I watched it with Rachel over the weekend.
Oh, what'd you think?
And it felt like a CW movie. It felt like a Saturday afternoon. The big baddie Bar Adon, the Kree lady, she just she looked too nice. And like her agenda was actually kind of good. She's trying to save her planet and like get revenge on the Annihilator. But she looked so sweet. She had like a very kind face. I was like, I can't hate this person. I'm not scared of her.
And that's what I've heard too about the movie is that the villain was forgettable.
She was just so she looked like someone you wanted to be friends with. Like I don't know, like make the villain hideous. Like give her like a big wart or like make her like chin huge. I don't know.
Or make her the size of China, like the wrestler China, right? Like make her a big baddie, just I will overpower everyone here and destroy you.
And then the end, I'm not spoiling it, but the end was Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel doing like the lamest like arms crossed, like, okay, let's go. And they did this, and a stream of light shot from their arms, both of them, and that saved it. That was it. There was no fight with the lady. The bad guy killed herself. They couldn't even beat her. She put on both. She killed herself.
Okay. So this is on Feige. This has to be on Feige, where it's like, all right, just
They couldn't even defeat her. All three of the Marvels couldn't defeat the one Kree warrior. They couldn't do it.
And here's the thing for me, like the Marvels, I actually want to watch it for Ms. Marvel. I think Imani, was it Imani Vellani? I think that's her name. I forgot what her real name is. But I think she's just absolutely adorable as Ms. Marvel. Like,
and see, I thought this was gonna be like her,
Iman
like
Vellani.
She had her series where she's the high school girl, adorable. Yeah. I thought this was gonna be like okay, I have to shed that. I'm literally trying to save my whole galaxy or solar system. Because the Kree was trying to steal the sun.
Okay.
So she's trying to save the whole solar her no. She kept the shtick to the very end.
The cutesy high school girl who doesn't know anything, which is, you know what, I think that's okay, because this is like her first major issue that's going on here. She didn't know what's going on, and it sounds like she probably tried to keep her composure without really losing it. That's like,
I'll give her. She was directed.
I absolutely love how I'm involved in conversation about movies I haven't even seen. Madam Web, the Marvels.
Yeah, the Kree warrior in Marvels dismantled Captain Marvel easily. Just brushed her aside.
Yeah.
All while looking really nice. Just very sweet.
Miss So brings up a question right here. Ms. Marvel being as powerful as she is, could she have easily destroyed that person?
Yeah, no, like she literally, like at the end, supercharged like a dying star with her power. She has so much power she can supercharge a dying star.
But she couldn't beat this Kree.
But no, she couldn't beat a single Kree.
Okay. So that's an issue. That's a writing issue right there. That's a writing directing issue right there. Real rude. What a do, man. Thanks for coming by, kicking it tonight. We're talking movies, brother.
We're talking movies.
We have zero agenda, and tonight's agenda is talking about things that I haven't watched, like Miss Marvel and the Marvels.
I didn't hate the Marvels, though. I did watch the whole thing. I watch the whole thing. I didn't.
That is something I do want to. I really do want to watch it.
It just felt like a Saturday afternoon movie,
popcorn flick.
Yeah, it's fun.
Go by hang out.
You're talking to someone. You get a phone call, you answer it. You're not worried about it.
Yeah. All right, like I do want to watch it. Like I was watching Echo with Eris. Like her and I were watching. She was liking Echo. My daughter's 14, and any badass girl on TV right now, she's just gravitating to, and especially like the bad girls. Like she likes Echo because she's kind of a badass. She loves Wanda. That's like her favorite character right now. She likes the badass girls, and you know what? Cool. I'm glad that you're into it. Let's watch it together. The first 4 episodes of Echo that I watched,
pretty rough.
I'm not gonna say it's bad, but I'm also not gonna come back and defend it. If you have your opinion and you think it's bad, I'm not gonna say, "Oh, you're wrong," because she's this and she's that. Awesome. I don't think, with regards to the actress who plays Echo, what's her name? I want to make sure I get her name correct. Marvel. Maya Lopez. No, that's her name in the thing. Crap. I want to make sure I get their name right. Alaqua Cox. That's her name. Alaqua Cox.
Yeah, Alaqua, yeah.
Alaqua Cox, yeah. She's Native American. She's a female, and she's an amputee.
And deaf.
And Deaf. Yeah. Okay. Um. Okay. Cool. I got no problem with that. Right. A lot of people were super upset about that, and they're like, "Oh, it's so woke because they got a Native American amputee who's deaf and she knows how to do martial arts." Like I've seen comments like that online. I'm like, why is that an issue? To show it just itself, is it written well? It's not the best written show.
Well, and that David Mack wrote it like 25 years ago.
Did you read the Echo series when it was out, or did you read anything about her when?
No, it was the Daredevil series, like 99, 98, 99.
See, with Echo, my biggest problem with Echo are the fight scenes. Like I've heard about them, but I'm like, I don't want to listen to that noise right now. Let me watch it for myself. And I was watching those fight scenes, like, wow, this is like on some Iron Fist level. It looked terribly choreographed.
Yeah, it was just super choreographed.
Just
But
like
the problem is, it's like using Madame Web without Peter Parker. Echo was made and created as the yang to Daredevil's yin. You know what I mean?
a
She's
female, a
deaf,
deaf
he's
female, and
blind.
a male blind guy. Like you
Yeah,
said, equal. That's yin and yang right there.
they were supposed to play off each other, and
and
that's why it worked so well.
And with Echo, like there was just the one scene in the first, I think first or second episode where we get some Daredevil, but that's it. I didn't finish the show, and I'm going to. I'm not going to speak ill about the show so far, other than the fighting is very, very much. It's not. She's great. Don't get me wrong. She performs the fights fine.
Yeah, Locke was great,
but it also on camera looks very mechanical. Now she does the moves great, but on camera it doesn't look smooth. It doesn't look like a genuine fight. It doesn't give me that Daredevil hallway scene fight feel.
dude. I mean, so the late 90s. Let's just look at some of these covers. So this is the first cover or the first issue she was on. 1999, Daredevil 9. There's Daredevil looking super mysterious. That's not her. That's a different character. So, okay. She appears in that one.
Okay.
Look at the next cover. Nope, not that one. This one. Look how badass this lady looks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Didn't you post that on the Arcade Base site recently, too?
Yeah. She needs to have Daredevil. And look, he's not even the focus. But look at that with the war paint. And she's just like, she's about to kill you.
Now, in the comic, is she a Native American deaf amputee?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that. So, like, I thought that they just did that to change her background.
And dude, look at this cover. This cover is sick. She's got the war paint. She's native. She's deaf, and she will freaking destroy you.
And Alaqua Cox is exactly that. She is a Native American amputee deaf person, and in the show she kicks ass. That's actually really dope. I did not know that. I thought Alaqua Cox was brought in and they changed Echo's character to fit
I like that little hand.
That's all David Mack work, huh?
Sign language.
How much are those going for? I'm actually kind of interested in reading this series now.
I mean, David Mack, he did a crazy cool, and to be fair, he did work on the series. He was front and center working on the solo show. And they wouldn't let him use Daredevil.
See, I don't understand why they're having spin-off movies and TV shows for lesser-known characters. Shouldn't they be introducing them in a movie with the main character first? Then they can test reaction for solo. Well, in a way, they kind of did that with Echo by bringing her in on the Hawkeye TV show. And in Hawkeye, I thought she was great. I actually did. I thought she was pretty good.
But again, not written for that character. Written has to be Daredevil. Damn Web has to be Peter Parker.
And now it's kind of like we have to ask that question. are the writers even reading the source material?
And they are not. They are
Not gonna
not.
lie, Miss. So not gonna lie, I actually enjoyed Hawkeye. I thought it was really fun. I thought it was really fun, and I do recommend it. I really do, and I hope more people like it. Um, Part of the reason was Echo. She was pretty badass, but more of a reason was Kate Bishop and uh Yelena's characters together. Their chemistry was phenomenal. Yelena and Kate Bishop. uh, I can watch a whole show on that if they can keep their chemistry like that.
Mm-hmm.
Totally worth it. I would, that show I would be down with because it gave me such good vibes. Echo show was something that I didn't think we needed, but if you had told me that there was a Kate Bishop Yelena TV show coming out, I would be 100% all about it. I really would. And
Well, in
maybe
the end of the Marvels, she does
okay,
meet up
stop.
with Kate Bishop.
Shh, stop. Okay. Shh. Shh.
You had your chance. This is a
Oh, come on. Don't come on, man. Just give me something.
Florence Pugh. Yeah, Florence Pugh is awesome.
And Missa was on the show the other night when I was talking about Midsummer. Like that was like I think Florence Pugh's introduction to, or that's when the world was introduced to Florence Pugh, was in that movie Midsummer. That was a crazy movie too. That movie was nuts.
Yeah, well, I have not seen it.
So with Echo, we need Daredevil. With Madame Web, we need Spider Parker. No, Peter Man. Peter Parker, Spider-Man. With some things you do need the other. Don't skip out on it, right? We do need that other person to make the chemistry, or people understand the chemistry. Because fans of that Daredevil series, they know what Echo's about. But if you're bringing Echo without Daredevil, it makes no sense.
Mm-hmm. No sense. Oh well. I'm gonna go see Dune 2 though. I'm pretty excited for that.
Yes, I am with you on that. Are you gonna get the popcorn bucket?
That's gonna be sold out.
The Fleshlight popcorn bucket.
Every popcorn bucket at my local theater is sold out like a week before the movie. People come in. I think the workers must take the cases and sell them.
That's so
I go on opening day. They're always sold out. I'm like, what's happened? Oh, the midnight release, they sold out. I'm like, well, why don't you get more?
No, that's bullshit. They don't sell out of midnight releases. Look, this Optimus Prime popcorn tin right here. Like I went to the movie theater, I think on a Sunday, and they still had them. So
Yeah,
I think you're right.
Gone. And like they're gone by matinee showings.
Yeah, like Miss So knows the Dune popcorn bucket.
Yeah, it's really weird. I don't know if it's still a joke or if it was like a red herring joke.
Just don't sit like too close to the back and really keep your eye out for the one dude that's back there eating popcorn by himself, because get your tickets early. Make sure you guys reserve like those middle seats. I think AMC now charges a little bit extra if you want like those good middle seats, which you know what, I'm fine with that. I know that's an issue, but and that sucks, but I'm okay with it if it keeps me away from the creepy guy that's at the very top eating the popcorn by himself. Okay, USA. I actually wanted to watch Dune again the other night. I asked Beamy, I was like, let's watch Dune again. And
I rewatched it and it holds up.
It holds up?
It holds up. The first Timothy Chalamet one. It's good.
I actually want to go back and watch like the original one first. Again.
Oh, it does not hold up.
I heard it doesn't hold up, but like
it's
growing up, it was a fascinating movie to me. To me, it was like the scary part of it was when they were calling the sandworms as a kid. Like just hearing the thumping, I was like, "Oh, this is kind of scary," in stereo sound at home. Right now, everyone's got like 5.1 THX 36 speaker sound systems in their house. Now you hear it all just all over. But I
It's
do want to
rough.
watch this one. I do want to watch Doom 2 in the movie theaters in Dolby Atmos. Like I really want to see like surround sound. It has fingers to wrap around your hand for popcorn, and also to help get rid of some of that popcorn grease. Yeah, we're gonna call it popcorn grease. That
Yeah.
that sticky stuff, right?
All right.
there.
If it's there, I'll buy it. Rachel and I will get one.
Look,
Sure.
Miss So still loves the '80s one. The visuals still hold up for her. Yeah.
All right, Miss So. Okay.
Heck yeah, you should, man. Why not? We've been so spoiled by CGI.
There's
so
like a
far with
cutoff
live
for
action.
me with a lot of 80s movies. I think it's like around 85. Anything kind of before that, it doesn't really do it for me.
How dare you? How
I know.
dare you? Jedi and Empire.
That's right where I might. Now, Star Wars is its own thing, but
how dare you? There was
I can't do a lot of 70s, early 80s movies. The dubbing, it's the sound is so rough for me. It's so dubbed over. What's it called? ADR? Or
oh yeah,
something like
that. Where they go back over and they dub over their own. Oh yeah. Yeah, some of that stuff is pretty terrible, but it's also amazing. Come on now. That's what gives it its like flair, right?
We need the original cut of Star Wars. I think if they George Lucas saying he destroyed the masters, come on, there's got to be some film out there with the original cut. Like, give me a break.
I think what was done was it was the original cut that was used, and he just did everything over it, right? And that's how they were.
There's got to be a big still other film reels with the original cut on it.
You know what? This is a good question. This is something I don't know. What did they do with those reels? What did they do with those reels in the 80s? Let's use Star Wars. Soon as Star Wars was done with its run, what did they do with those original reels? Did they send them back to Lucas?
They probably. I think he would probably want them all back. I
Star
bet he
Wars
had to send them back.
Oh yeah, Star Wars always holds up, no matter what. Still
he
blown
had
away
so
by
much
the first.
control. He was definitely.
Slumboards in the house. Howdy, gents. What's going on, Slumboards? Thanks for coming by and hanging out with us tonight while we talk movies because we have no agenda tonight. It's ADHD fueled, no agenda movie talking night tonight here, Slumboards. This was going to happen. So, you don't think that someone held on to the original reel? Like, do you think that they were all accounted for around the world?
Totally. Every last one, I bet.
We did. Sort of.
Because
neither one of us watched it.
Because I found the reel of all the writers.
Oh,
it's pretty funny.
Show us, because
all right, let me see if
this is going to explain a lot.
I hate the title, but what are we gonna do?
Oh, hold on, that's okay.
All right.
Do any research.
I wasn't familiar with comics. I wasn't familiar with the movies.
We didn't lean into a whole lot of the history of the comic books.
Yeah, candidly, we were not enormous comic fans.
I wasn't super into superhero comics when I was a kid. I read a lot of like indie press stuff.
First thing I was told is don't read the comics.
Really?
As a creator, they put you in a bubble. They don't let you talk about any of the other projects, right?
They're up for anything.
We ultimately decided to redefine it for the series and thought that it worked better for the story that we're trying to tell.
Did you ever read you've never read the comic? When the DVD comes out, I'm going to read a Thor comic book and just see where we went wrong.
Now we.
Oh man, that's great.
See, with Taika Waititi, like when he was announced that he was doing a Thor movie, I was like, this guy. Like I was talking to Mimi, I was like, dude, this is the guy, because we're watching Where the Shadows Are, or Into the Shadows, whatever that movie was.
The vampire
one, right? The one that he's really known for. And I was like, I was having a great time, but I'm like, this guy's in charge of an MCU movie. Hold on, wait.
No, like
it's gonna be
okay,
like-
so last night I watched Next Goal Wins. It's kind of like Cool Runnings, but for soccer for America Samoa that Taika Waititi did.
I was gonna say that's that Taika movie, right? Yeah. How is
So
that? I actually
hilarious.
wanted to see that movie.
So funny. It is so funny.
I actually want to see that movie. I really, really do. I completely forgot about it, but yeah, it's about a coach who doesn't know anything about soccer was trying to teach the American Samoa soccer team how to play. I believe that's the premise. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
nobody knew anything about it. The players didn't know, the coach didn't know. So then they get like a really premier coach, English premier coach, who had like been fired from his jobs because he's like an alcoholic and he like broke a bunch of stuff. And so they're like sending him there as punishment.
See, Miss So didn't mind the corny humor take on Thor, but it did get old and stale after a while. See, the first Thor, it was an anomaly. I actually loved. Sometimes I'm a 13-year-old boy on the inside, and I laugh at all the dick and fart jokes. I really do. But in Love and Thunder, we didn't need that because we're about to lose Jane. It didn't need to be that sad of a story, or it didn't need to be that happy of a story. And the goats annoyed the fuck out of me. The goats and Zeus, they annoyed me. I hated that.
Well,
I hated
Ragnarok with Tika's character with the little sprinklings. You remember he was the rock guy?
Yeah.
That was fun.
Hello, my
That's
name
hilarious.
is oh yeah, this is like an eternal circle. You're never gonna get out of here. Piss off, ghost. Like that's still a thing that we say. Piss off, ghost. That is something that we quote regularly here at the house.
It's hilarious, but then like every second though, it's like okay, I don't need it.
In Ragnarok, all day, no worries. I can take all of Ragnarok. I just cannot take all of Love and Thunder. I couldn't. It was just like, okay, one time was okay.
Yeah,
it was just like, and just hearing that, like, no one understood the stories, no one knew the stories, no one, them telling the writers don't read the comics. No, read the comic, get ideas from the comic. Endgame and Infinity War still took from Infinity War or from the Infinity Gauntlet. There were notes taken from Infinity Gauntlet. The Russo brothers even showed us all the little tabs. Oh yeah, this is the book. This is the Infinity Gauntlet. And they had tabs all around the book showing ideas and where to get this and where to get that. And that's what I loved about it. Though it didn't have anything to do with Infinity Gauntlet, they still had ideas from it. They read it. They created a story that revolved around Thanos having the Infinity Gauntlet. I loved it. And they had a different take on it on a big Hollywood budget. Because when I went back and I read Infinity Gauntlet, I think after the movie, it was Adam Warlock and Death. It would have been cool to see Death, but I also did like that. They didn't make him a lovesick ruler who is trying to impress a girl. They made him almost compassionate in his madness, and I thought that was the brilliance of Infinity War and Endgame and their take on Thanos. I really do, but still taking ideas and notes from the comic. Good. You have the Secret Wars and the Secret Invasion writers, two like important books in Marvel history that I know of, and they're being told don't read the comics. That's the disconnect.
Yeah.
That is the disconnect.
That's sad.
Madam Web is a person from the Spider-Verse, but don't use Spider-Man. Go. Isn't Madam Web supposed to be old? No, she's this young, hot, millennial.
One of the most beautiful women on earth.
And you're like, wait a minute, it has nothing to do with what a Madam Web is. Like, people who actually read the... Now, here's my question for the people who actually saw Madam Web, bringing it back because ADHD. My question is this, if this movie was named anything else, and the women were not any of the Spider Women, but they were a different character with special powers. Because what I saw in the trailers, it looked very much like, this is what I said, it looked like a spider version of The Craft. 4 young women, powers, go out into the world, do stuff.
A beautiful web. Ooh.
You know,
a web of lies.
If it wasn't for the fact that everyone knows that this was a Spider-Man property, and you went in and they weren't Spider Women, like I said, they were just women with powers, would this movie hold up?
Ooh.
Or is it because it's tied to the Spider-Man world is what its downfall is?
Okay.
Right now, I'm going to go in and watch it and be like, all right, let me watch this and do my best to block out the term Spider-Man, Spider-Verse, web, you know, bitten by a spider, shit like that. I'm going to do my absolute best to really keep that, you know, off and watch the movie as objectively as I can and wonder, is this movie good as a standalone movie that has nothing to do with the Spider World, with the Spider-Verse?
That's a great point.
And that's the same thing that I'm going to have to do when I go in and watch Morbius. Take the Spider-Man world away, watch it as it is, as it's been presented. Is it decent enough for it to be a cult classic, like what you were asking with Madam Web? And I think that's what I need to do with these 2 movies. Like, do my absolute best and try to separate them from the Spider-Verse. Look, Slumboard's just finished it. Look, he says, I just finished it. He's like, I went in with no expectations at all, and he's giving it a 6 out of 10. Now that's cult classic numbers right there.
That's what you got to do, I think. And the Marvel's the same way. Take out everything you think about. They're just 3 characters in a sci-fi movie.
Mark from the Legion of Comics the other night asked me, he's like, am I jaded because I'm so used to watching a movie now that's tied to an overarching story now? Am I expecting certain movies to now be a part of this overarching story? Because that's kind of what the MCU did. And yes, it kind of ruined movie watching for a lot of us, because now we're all trying to figure out if it's tied to this, it's tied to that. Oh, no, it's not tied to it, but it's kind of tied to it, but it's really not. But in a way, because of time warping and a weird snap and a little piece of my goo is left in this world. And there's just a lot of shit going on. And have we lost the art of watching a movie just for the sake of watching a movie?
It spoiled us.
It has, you know. So Slumboards, if you're still watching, let me ask you this. If you watched this movie, can you take away the terminologies and it's tied to the Spider-Verse and try to watch this as a movie that has nothing to do with that? Is it a better movie if you don't really think about, oh, Spider-Man? Can you watch this movie and think, oh, 4 young women fighting a bad guy and trying to save the world? Like, does it work like that in that aspect? Let me know. Definitely was more sci-fi than straight up action. Oh, okay. That's something I wasn't expecting right there. Again, I didn't watch it. I think I'm going to watch it. I'm definitely going to watch Morbius beforehand also.
And the upcoming Craven?
Oh yeah,
still coming out?
Supposedly, Craven is coming out, and then what's the other one that was El Muerto, the wrestling guy, right? The one that was supposed to be played by Bad Bunny.
Oh yeah,
I think that's also tied to the Spider-Verse, isn't
August 30th. So is that another independent Sony project, Craven the Hunter?
Yeah, Craven is Sony. What's his name? Aaron Johnson, the same guy who played Quicksilver in the first Avenger movie. Wanda's brother.
Well, now it is okay. It's distributed by Sony, but Columbia is producing Craven. It's intended to be the 5th film in the Sony Spider-Man universe.
Hold on, now I want to
don't
know, is Madam Web worded that way too? Distributed by Sony and
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah.
Russell Crowe's in it. This one has a bit of a bigger cast, but Sam Raimi, you know,
Sam Raimi's directing?
no, sorry, JC Chandor.
So here's the thing too. Here's the thing. The movie's 116 minutes long, a little under 2 hours long, right? But the budget was only 80 million and it made 51.9 million. Do you think that in the life of this, it'll actually make a profit? No, I shouldn't say make a profit, because it's just 80 million to make the movie, but also tours and advertisement and stuff like that, right?
JC Chandor, another kind of unknown director.
Yeah, Craven's still coming out. Standalone project for Sony. Columbia also did Madam Web. Okay.
Oh, they also did Madame Web.
Yeah,
Okay,
but here's the thing though. I'm hearing with Craven, they're actually taking a much different take, where he used to take on the powers of the beast, and then he's this masculine dude and this alpha guy, and now he's more of a savior of the animals. No, we don't treat the animals this way. We're going to save the animals. It's kind of like a completely, they're changing the character of the character. And I mentioned this before, like, don't touch legacy characters. Don't mess with the character of a character. They are like that and they're beloved for a reason. You go in and change who they are, you're going to throw everyone off who knows anything about it. And that's the audience that really should care about this, because then that audience is going to rave about the movie that you have released, and get all the people who haven't watched or don't know anything about that property to watch it even more. This is why I think these studios need to cater to the people who love these characters, because those people who love the characters will at least explain it to someone who's just a casual watcher, and then talk the movie up. Fuck that, dude. This movie was amazing. I loved how they stuck with this. You need to go watch it. It's a lot better than you think. Normal human who doesn't read comic books. Seriously though, right? I mean, and it's also free advertising. You probably don't need to do as much advertising if you get the nerds to talk about the movie for you. Cater to the nerds. They will bring you the audience.
Is it going to be rated R though?
I believe so. He's taking on the poachers. Let me see.
Okay.
Craven the Hunter. I don't know if they've released a rating just yet, though, right? I don't think it's done doing what it needs to do. Here's the thing. Aaron Taylor Johnson in Kick-Ass. So it was a kid. Whatever. Aaron Taylor Johnson as Quicksilver. As Pietro. He was all right.
Yeah.
I didn't hate him, but I didn't love him either. Right. And then what else was he in? He was also in another comic booky movie, wasn't he? It was Kick-Ass 2. Godzilla. I didn't care for him too much in Godzilla. It kind of felt like he kind of got in the way. However, Aaron Taylor Johnson as Tangerine from Bullet Train. Oscar.
Man, you like Bullet Train, huh?
I love Bullet Train.
I saw it.
Absolutely I will tell you now, Bullet Train is the kind of movie that we need for people who are like, I want action, but I don't want to watch a comic book movie. I want something funny with fun dialogue, but I don't need it to be tied to anything. I want to see a big movie star in here, but he kind of takes on a smaller role. Like Brad Pitt is a centerpiece, but he's not like the biggest star in the movie. When I say that, the movie isn't all about him. And matter of fact, it's about something that he's trying to do and trying to accomplish, right? He's got to get through all these other people who are trying to do the same thing. And you run into a cast of characters. This movie feels very much like a Guy Ritchie movie with so many different colorful characters in it. It is I will say the word, it is a phenomenal movie, well directed, super fun, extremely fun movie. And I recommend you watching this before you watch Madam Web or Cradle. Or watch Morbius and then Madam Web and then go watch Bullet Train to kind of cleanse the palate, right? You need to end it on a good note, and you will end it like on a fantastically fun note with Bullet Train.
That's awesome.
Look, some boards either like Bullet Train was action and comedy, multiple watch movie for sure. For sure. That's like one of the top 20 movies that we have like on rotation.
Well,
Snatch.
speaking of which, tonight, I'm pretty sure it comes out tonight. Resident Alien, the comic book series show.
We watched the first season. That show was fantastic.
It's really good. The guy from Firefly. I really like it. It's on its new season. It just launched its new season 4. So
isn't it Alan Tudyk? Yeah, it's Alan Tudyk that plays the alien in it.
And hilarious. I mean, there's a comic book that has a pretty successful show that the comic book almost zero bump from the show.
That I didn't know. That I did not know that it was a comic book. I do know that it's its own show and it's freaking funny. Is this the second season? I don't know.
Fourth
it's the third season. No, third season.
Or third season. One of the two.
First season was great. I actually want to go back and rewatch it. I only remember that it was
really
fun.
worth watching.
Yeah.
It's nothing serious though.
Oh God, no. Do not take it serious at all. There's some parts where Alan Tudyk plays it a little too serious, but he has to. The more you watch it, you're gonna understand. Oh, that's why he
exactly.
That's why he does that.
All right, guys.
I was gonna say, yeah. Call it a night.
Call it a night. Let's do it.
Well, thanks to everyone for coming by and hanging out tonight. Slumboards, our boy Lawrence Lee, of course, Miss So. And if you guys haven't, Miss So actually has her YouTube channel up now, and she's actually doing and posting some things now. And I absolutely love it because she's out there doing stuff. So go also subscribe to Miss So, get her subscriber count up because we want to see more of what she enjoys as well, you guys. Okay, so go out there and subscribe to Miss So's channel. And like AJ would say, and with that being said, you guys have a good night. Hold on. Okay. Now okay. That was so awkward. We're leaving now, guys. Peace.
Thanks again for listening to another episode of the Sealess Villains podcast, your cultivators of the comic culture. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and email us at sealessvillains@gmail.com. You can also leave us a voicemail or text us at 209-975-7597. Be sure to join Luke Week's Facebook group, Rare Keys and First Appearance Comics. And you can follow us on our 2 Instagram accounts, Sealess Villains and Sealess Villains Podcast. Lastly, follow the villains on their separate IG accounts, at Luke Weeks, at C-List Villainous Red, at C-List Eman, and I am at AJ the Comic Collector. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you all next episode.